In a world filled with chaos and uncertainty, find peace, guidance, inspiration, and wisdom with Abdul Fattah Adeyemi's official app.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. My name is Abdul Fattah Adeyemi. Questions from the heart. There are questions that rise from the mind, logical, calculated, seeking answers that fit neatly within the borders of reason. But then there are questions from the heart. These are not the kind that can be measured or weighed because they are born of longing, they are born of pain, of love and wonder. They do not ask for formulas, they demand meaning. They are whispers in the stillness of night. They are echoes in the inner chambers of our souls. A child may ask, "Why is the sky blue, Mama?" And the child will be satisfied with a lesson on refraction. But the question from the heart, such as, why does the heart ache when love is lost? Why do we feel crazy because we are in love? Why do lovers suddenly turn against each other when hatred comes in? Or where does the soul go when the body rests forever? Some of these questions demand something more profound than something that is calculatable. These sorts of questions are not asking for explanation, but they are asking for connection, asking for assurance that one's grief or joy, that one's fleeting existence is understood and shared. The heart questions often shrouded in vulnerability. That is to say that we are vulnerable. That's why we ask. To ask these questions is to admit that we are small, that we do not have all the answers, and that perhaps we never will have the answers. They often take the form of prayers, form of requests. You begin to ask, am I enough? Will I ever heal if you are somebody who has a disease or sickness? Or is there something greater than myself? Is there something else that I need to do? Are there some things I've left undone? Are there some doors I've left opened? Are there some doors I've kept closed? On relationships, we ask, why do some relationships flourish while others fade away? How come some crazy people will marry each other and their relationship will still be successful? How come really wise people marry each other and the relationship results in failure? Why is it that smart people make dumb choices when it comes to choices of people to marry? And why is it that a wise person marries a stupid person? Why? Why? How do you know when to hold on or when to let go of someone you love? How do you know the limits? When do you know you should stop? Can love truly conquer all, or are there limits to what love can overcome? Is love enough in a marriage? Is love enough in choices of life? Is love enough to make a successful relationship? These are questions that our hearts ask from time to time, and we beg for answers. And the more we think we are getting the answers, the more we think we are getting our heads wrapped around the answers, the more confused we become. Because you get to see people who don't love each other at all, and they are celebrating 60 years of happy marriage. How can life be so confusing like this? Then on your career and your ambition, how do I know if I'm on the right career path? Is it better to pursue passions or security in my work? At what point does ambition become greed or obsession? Am I not confusing my career with my destiny? Am I supposed to be a wage slave for the rest of my life? How come I didn't know what was better for me to do? Why did I have to change a job? Why did I even not change a job? Why did I remain tied and locked up with these irresponsible colleagues in my place of work? Why do I have to keep saying yes or yes ma to this person that's not even enough to clean my shoes? But because I have to eat, or is it because I have to eat, or is it because I'm so naive, or because nobody has guided me, or what kind of ambition do I even have in life? Why do I have to keep having an ambition, to keep having ambitions that are unattainable? Why is it that whenever I want to achieve something great, something happens, and then there's a detour, and then I'm distracted? Why? These are the questions our hearts are asking from time to time, begging for answers. And on personal growth, you ask, am I making progress, or am I stuck in a cycle of repetition? My life has been forged into rot, doing the same things every day. Wake up, go out, come back, sleep. Wake up, go out, come back, sleep. And the process is repeated days after days, weeks after weeks, months after months, years after years. Am I growing forward, or am I growing backwards? How do I differentiate between self-improvement and self-criticism? Is it ever too late to change or start anew? At this time, will I begin to go write application, to go join a job, or to abandon my passion, or to see whether I'm growing or not? How am I going to measure my personal growth in life? These are some of the questions of our hearts. And then you see your colleagues, you see your mates, you see your friends. They seem to be doing much better than you. And this is not a matter of envy. This is not a matter of jealousy. This is not a matter of obsession. And this is not a matter of anything. It is just plain truth that they have left, and they have left you behind. That they have moved and they have left you behind. It's not that you are not making progress. It's just that you are just making movement without any progress. You are just going around in circles. What do they know that I don't know? And how will I apply new knowledge to my personal growth? When it comes to matters of faith and spirituality, your heart will ask you some of these questions. How do I strengthen my connection with Allah in the chaos of daily life? Why do I sometimes feel distant from Allah even when I'm in Salat? It's not that I don't pray. I pray 5 times a day. Yet anytime I stand to pray, my heart keeps wandering around. I thought my heart should have been used to making Salat by now. It should have been used to standing before Allah by now. My heart should have been used to reciting the Fatiha and doing the Ibadah and standing before Almighty Allah. Why do I still feel distant? Why? Where has my Iman gone? Why do I feel like this? As if I don't have any faith. I pray and I fast. Then why do I still commit all of these sins, these embarrassing sins? Why do I still find myself in this embarrassing situation of some inexplicable addictions and some inexplicable spiritual burdens that I cannot tell anyone? How do I reconcile moments of doubt with the steadfastness of faith in Allah? For the Muslims, the heart questions often intertwine deeply with his Iman. The Muslim wonder, why was I created? What does Allah expect of me? What was Allah thinking when He created me? What does Allah intend to do by giving me this trial? This particular trial that seemed to be tailor-made for me, customized to size me and to fit me. Why was I created in the first place when I have to go through all of these tribulations? How can I ensure that my life's journey leads me closer to Allah, my Creator? These are some of the profound questions that are not merely theoretical, but they are spiritual compasses that can guide our actions, our intentions, and our hopes. And then you begin to ask, am I fulfilling my purpose as a servant of Allah? Will my deeds weigh heavily in the scale on the day of judgment? Am I leaving my paradise forward, or have left it backwards? Have I left some good deeds undone in the past that will have earned me paradise? Or the best of my deeds are yet to come? Maybe there are some good deeds ahead of me that I will need to do to get to paradise? Ya Allah, how will I recognize it? Who am I supposed to help? And because of helping that person, you are going to be pleased with me. Ya Allah. These are the questions. And somebody asked for my help yesterday and I didn't help the person. Is Allah going to hold it against me? Even though I really had the means to help, but I just didn't feel like helping. Did my heart mislead me? Was it because I'm greedy? Or was it because I'm too smart? Perhaps the person was telling me lies. These are questions of the heart that a person cannot escape. What are the secrets that Allah has against me that I cannot remember, that I need to ask for forgiveness? The secret that will only be revealed in the day of judgment, Yawma Tubla Sarair, the day all secrets will be laid bare. Oh Allah, what secret of mine are you holding that you intend to expose in the day of judgment, and that I have not even remembered to ask for forgiveness? Each question propels the believer towards reflection, towards self-improvement, and towards surrender to the divine will and to the divine power and compellment of Almighty Allah. Allah is Al-Jabbar, the one that compels. Now, coming to parenting, the questions of your heart would be, am I raising my children to be kind, to be resilient, and to be faithful? What kind of children am I raising for this generation? How do I balance being a guide and letting my children make their own mistakes? What is the greatest legacy that I can leave behind for these children? On morality, you begin to ask within your heart, how do I prepare for the inevitable reality of death? Am I even ready? Death will come any moment. Am I set? Will I be remembered for the right reasons when I'm gone? Will there be some people that will pray for me from their hearts because of some goodness I did for them, or because of some smiles I brought to their faces? What will I say when I stand before Allah and He begins to ask me about everyone and everything? When Allah begins to ask me about every blessing that I've received, every pleasure that I've indulged in, every goodness that has come my way, what am I going to say when I stand before Almighty Allah and I have to account for all of the blessings that I've received? When it comes to happiness and contentment, your heart begins to ask, what does it truly mean to be happy? How do I balance gratitude for what I have with the desire to achieve more? Can contentment coexist with my ambition? And when it comes to time and priorities, your heart begins to ask you, am I spending my time on what truly matters? Do I prioritize? How do I balance the demands of work, family, and self-care with my ibadah? Will I regret the choices I'm making today when I look back later in life? How have I fared so far when it comes to scoring points on the way I've used my life or the way I spent my youth? When it comes to matters of purpose and meaning, you begin to ask, what is my unique contribution to this world? What did I bring? What did I dispense? What did I contribute? How do I know if I'm fulfilling the purpose for which I was created? Am I on the right path, or I'm taking a detour and I'm doing something entirely different from what is the purpose for my being here? If life is fleeting, what makes it truly worthwhile? Is this life a battlefield or a playground to me? And when it comes to social responsibility, you begin to ask within your heart, what is my role in improving the lives of those around me? Who have I helped to grow? Who have I built to become somebody? How can I contribute to justice and fairness in a world that is filled with inequity? Can one person's effort really make a difference? All of these things I'm doing, do they make any difference? Does it matter? Does it work? Does it have any effect? Does it have any impact on others? These questions are sent into the vast unknown, like messages in a bottle cast into a boundless ocean, uncertain if they will ever find their way to an answer. You remember how we used to watch it on TV those days, where some people will write questions on a piece of paper, roll it up and put it into a bottle, an empty bottle, cork the bottle, and then cast the bottle into the ocean or into a river, hoping that the river course will take the bottle to a place where somebody will open the bottle, read the message, get the message, and send back an answer. It's a very long journey. It only happens in movies. But in real life, what is going to happen? What happens when those answers do not come back? What happens when the answers I've been asking do not get answered? The questions I've been asking, when do not get answered, how does it feel to live with a heart that is heavy with unanswered questions? The weight of not knowing can be profound. The weight of not having an answer can be very heavy. It's like wandering and groping through the dark with no clear vision and no clear direction. Some people receive their answers early in life, and this is where the mystery lies. This is what makes one to really feel it and get it. Some people receive their answers early in life. While they are very young, they receive answers to all of their questions. Whereas some others must journey long and far before clarity dawns on them. That is, there are those who only got answers to their life questions at their old age. It is like discovering your true passion and your calling long after retirement from service. It is Ya Allah, have mercy on us. Ya Salam. Whereas, you see, just one true answer to your question will have removed 20 years of wandering from your life. In fact, 30 years of service. It will have removed it from your life. You will stop wandering around, and it will have replaced it with a straight path to a great life. If somebody had answered your questions when you were in secondary school, when you were just looking for admission to school, when you were thinking of what course to study in school, that question, what course should I study? What subject should I study? What field should I go into? Those questions, I wish somebody has given you the right answer. You will not have read or studied a wrong course that has made you to take a wrong course in life. And 30 years after you look back, you wish you had studied something else and you wish you had become somebody else. Ya Salam. And yet, there's another question. Are we asking the right questions? That's another question. Will we be so consumed by our search that we fail to see the answers that are staring back at us? After all, it is said that nothing is obvious to the uninformed. Sometimes, the light we seek lies hidden in plain sight, obscured only by our own blind spots, our naivety, and our stubbornness. Truly, there's hardly anything you want to do, or you want to be, or you want to become that someone else has not passed through a similar experience before. Some of us don't just take lessons from others because we are stubborn. You need to travel wide, brothers and sisters in Islam. Travel wide and observe keenly and read autobiographies. You'll be surprised. You'll be surprised to discover that there was once someone that was almost exactly like you in almost everything. You know, same craziness, same carelessness with yours, same bad choices that you have made, same terrible friends that you have, and same opportunities and same blessings, and so on and so forth. You will see somebody who has exactly the same thing like you. Why don't you travel around? Why don't you read autobiographies of others? See how they started and see how they ended. A boy that wants to go learn mechanics work at a mechanics workshop, nobody needs to be a fortune teller to tell him what he may likely become. He only needs to look at his boss. What has your boss become or by doing this mechanic work? And you can begin to project, this boss is exactly like me, almost like a street child, and now you found himself doing this. Now this one that he's doing, where is he going to end up? It is very easy to project sometimes. It's just that we were not noticing. We didn't pay attention. The place that you were humbly begging for a job the other time, You know, you are begging for appointment. I humbly request for appointment to work in your office or to work in your company. Don't you look at the director of the company. You also hope to rise to become director there someday. And then you get to see what your existing director has become. Is that exactly what you want to become too? So sometimes the questions we ask, the answers are there. It's just that we are not noticing. You don't need to ask what is going to happen to a person who commits zina in the day of judgment. You don't need to ask the things that befall a sinner in the sight of Allah. You don't need to ask what's going to happen to you that's cheating on your wife. You don't need to ask you, the woman that is not honest with your husband, that's not loyal to your marriage. You don't need to ask. You should just look around and you see people who are doing exactly what you are doing, and you get to see where they ended. In fact, if you don't see any of those, why don't you read the Quran and see what Allah said is surely going to happen to those who are doing exactly what you are doing now? To those whose lives are fake, to those who go around life as if they are photocopies of somebody else, to those who don't take life serious, to those who play away their times, to those who waste their time and waste the time of others. You don't need to ask too much questions. It seems the answers are there. It's not that you did not notice. So let us cherish the questions from the heart. These questions are serious. Let us not rush to answer them or dismiss them as futile. Let us sit with them, that's with these questions. Let them deepen our understanding of ourselves and each other and of the world around us. Because in the depths of these questions lie the mystery and beauty of life itself. It urges us to keep seeking, to keep loving, and to keep wondering, and to keep learning. A question from the heart can ignite revolutions of thoughts, and it can inspire the most creative endeavor. It can deepen faith or unsettle the faith. It can build bridges between people or illuminate the walls we did not know we had built around ourselves. And by the time we do all of this, then we begin to experience the power of answers. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Download the Abdul Fattah DME app now and start your journey to a more meaningful, purpose-driven life. Available for free on the App Store and Google Play. Join the community. Transform your life. Edit your universe.